Most guys are clueless about this. Women don't just come out and say they're imagining you naked, but their bodies can't help spilling the truth. If you've ever thought, is she picturing me without my clothes on? Stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll know the 10 subconscious things women do when their minds are in the gutter, and you might just be shocked by what you've been missing. Women are subtle. Too subtle, in fact, for most men to catch on. When she's picturing you naked, she won't announce it. She'll show it. Her actions are almost involuntary, and most of the time, even she doesn't realize what she's doing. These 10 signs are like her secret tell, and once you learn them, you'll never second-guess her interest again. 1. She's visibly distracted. First off, women are pros at multitasking, but when her thoughts turn X-rated, even she struggles to keep it together. If she's suddenly fumbling her words, zoning out, or staring at you like her brain just short-circuited, that's not just a coincidence. You're mid-conversation about something totally mundane. Work, weekend plans, whatever, and she suddenly spaces out, her eyes dropping below your face. She snaps back with an awkward laugh or a quick subject change. That momentary glitch in her focus, it's her brain betraying her. She's not zoning out because she's bored. She's zoning out because her imagination is doing all the heavy lifting. And sometimes, that distraction becomes something even more obvious. 2. Her eyes wander and linger where they shouldn't. Guys, this one's straightforward. If her eyes start scanning you like she's mentally undressing you, she's not thinking about the weather. Women might be subtle with their words, but their gaze, that's harder to control. For example, she's sitting across from you and her eyes do a quick scan, face, shoulders, chest. Maybe she bites her lip or plays with her drink to cover the pause. If she's stealing glances below the neckline, her thoughts are already 3 steps ahead of the conversation. Research shows that prolonged gazes or repeated glances are tied to heightened interest. And if her gaze keeps drifting south, she's imagining what's under the hood. 3. She overdoes the compliments. Here's the deal. Women don't just hand out compliments for no reason. If she's suddenly telling you, "You've been working out, haven't you?" or "That shirt looks great on you," she's not making idle chit-chat. Imagine this. She comments on how your biceps look in your t-shirt or how broad your shoulders are. These aren't just compliments. They're her way of saying, "I see you," and probably a lot more. Compliments are her safe way of getting closer to the line without crossing it. She's drawing attention to the parts of you she's been checking out, but not all her signals are verbal. Some are purely instinctual. 4. She plays with her hair and herself. Okay, this one's classic, but it's still gold. If she's twirling her hair, adjusting her neckline, or touching her neck or collarbone, these are all subconscious moves women make when they're attracted. Why? Because these gestures are designed to draw your attention to her. Visualize this. You're talking, and she keeps brushing her hair back, running her fingers along her neck, or fiddling with her necklace. She's not doing this because her hair's in the way. It's a primal signal to draw your eyes to her most sensitive areas. Fun fact, this behavior stems from evolutionary psychology. Women instinctively emphasize their feminine features when they're trying to attract attention. And yes, if her neckline adjustments are happening every 5 minutes, she's probably imagining more than just your smile. 5. She gets nervous around you. Here's something women won't admit. When they're imagining something steamy, it's hard for them to stay calm. Nervous laughter, fidgeting, or even blushing are huge giveaways. Picture this. She's usually confident and collected, but when you're close, she's suddenly laughing too much, fiddling with her drink, or stammering through her words. Her nerves are betraying her because her mind is running wild. If you notice her fidgeting with her rings, her phone, or even crossing and uncrossing her legs, that's her body trying to release the tension she's feeling. And no, it's not the kind of tension a pep talk will fix. From nervous energy to deliberate moves, let's talk about how she closes the gap. 6. She finds excuses to touch you. A light brush of the arm, a playful smack on your shoulder, or leaning into your space while laughing, these aren't coincidences. Physical touch is a huge indicator she's imagining more. Here's how it plays out. You're cracking a joke, and she lightly taps your arm, or you're sitting next to her, and she leans so close, her knee brushes against yours. She's not just testing boundaries, she's breaking them. Here's a psych insight. Touch triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone. If she's touching you, even subtly, it's because she wants to feel closer, physically and emotionally. 7. Her voice changes. Pay attention to her voice. If it suddenly gets softer, slower, or even breathier, that's a clear signal she's turned up the flirtation dial. Imagine this. She's been chatting normally, but when the topic shifts to you, your hobbies, your weekend plans, her tone drops. She's speaking slower, holding eye contact longer, and emphasizing her words. That's not just conversation, that's seduction. If her voice sounds like it belongs in a perfume commercial every time she talks to you, you're definitely on her mind. 8. She starts accidentally flashing skin. This is where things get really interesting. Women who are imagining you naked often start showing a little more skin themselves without even realizing it. Picture this scenario. You're sitting at a table and she crosses her legs, hiking her skirt up just enough to grab your attention. Or maybe she leans forward in her chair, suddenly giving you a better view of her neckline. These aren't wardrobe malfunctions, they're deliberate moves. Exposing skin is a primal attraction cue. It's her way of saying, "This could be you," without saying a word. 9. She can't stop smiling. When a woman is imagining you naked, it's hard for her to keep a straight face. She's smiling, laughing, and generally glowing in your presence. Here's the giveaway. She might giggle at jokes that aren't even funny or smile at you like you're the most charming guy in the room. That warmth and attention, it's her internal fantasy slipping into her external actions. And finally, let's talk about the sign that's as bold as it gets. 10. She straight up asks suggestive questions. Here's one most guys miss. When a woman starts dropping loaded questions like, "Do you always work out?" or "What's your type?" She's not just being curious, she's laying the groundwork. For example, she might say, "Bet you look good shirtless," with a playful smile. Or she might ask, "What do you sleep in the middle of a conversation. These aren't innocent, they're bait, and she's waiting to see how you'll respond. Here's a pro tip. If she's steering the conversation into these waters, she's not just imagining you naked. She's hoping you'll give her more to think about. Now, before we wrap up, let's address something important. Why do so many guys miss these signals? You might think these signs are obvious, but here's the truth. Most men are hardwired to misinterpret or downplay subtle cues, and it's not your fault. It's biology and social conditioning working against you. First, there's the fear of rejection. Your brain naturally leans toward caution to avoid embarrassment. So even when she's clearly flirting, you might convince yourself she's just being friendly. This tendency to second guess stems from an evolutionary defense mechanism. It was safer to assume she wasn't interested than risk getting kicked out of the tribe for overstepping. Second, there's society's mixed messages. Think about how often you've been told not to assume anything. That hesitation makes it harder to trust what you're seeing, even when the signs are right in front of you. But here's the kicker. Women often want you to notice these signals without them having to spell it out. Why? Because it shows you're paying attention. Women love a guy who's confident enough to read the room, and them, without needing a neon sign. Bonus insight, the subconscious reveal, why she can't hide it. Here's something you won't hear often. When a woman imagines you naked, it's not just about attraction. It's about how the brain works under desire. Studies show that when someone is physically attracted to you, their subconscious takes over and they start acting on autopilot. That's why her body gives away little signals she can't control. But here's where it gets really interesting. Psychologists believe that this autopilot behavior isn't just random. It's her mind testing compatibility without her even realizing it. Her body language, tone, and gestures are all part of an instinctive evaluation process. And the wild part, she might not even be fully aware she's doing it. If you found these signs helpful, just wait. There's a whole world of even subtler signals women send when they're truly into you. In a future video, we'll dive into the advanced next-level moves that most guys never catch. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss it.